Good morning, everyone. For teleSUR, I'm Cody Weddle in Caracas, Venezuela. We start this morning in New York City, where world leaders are arriving ahead of this week's UN General Assembly. High-level meetings are set to start Monday. The gathering is scheduled to focus on tackling the Islamic State, stopping the spread of the deadly Ebola virus, and the crisis in Ukraine. Over 120 leaders are expected to attend. Ahead of the discussion on the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair says that deploying ground troops against the group should remain a possibility. Blair played a leading role in the 2003 invasion of Iraq. He warns that defeating the Islamic State means those fighting the group must be prepared for casualties. Former U.S. Secretary of Defense Robert Gates also says that ground troops may be necessary in the fight against the group.
We advance the cause of humankind one whole.
Over 300,000 people joined together Sunday as part of the People's Climate March in New York City. Thousands more marched in 166 countries worldwide. It marks the largest protest related to environmental issues in recent history. Protesters demand world action ahead of the UN Climate Summit set for Tuesday. They also call for a global treaty with binding restrictions on greenhouse gases. At the march, Gonzalo Venegas from hip-hop group Rebel Diaz caught up with leading author Naomi Klein for her thoughts on the march. Take a look.
This really is what it's called. It's a People's Climate March. It looks like this city. It looks like New York City. Incredible showing from organized labor, incredible presence from Indigenous, First Nations. It's really as diverse as this city is, and that's what it's going to take.
Latin America also saw numerous marches as part of the Global Day of Action. Brazilians braved pouring rain in Rio de Janeiro to demand that world leaders take immediate action on climate change. Protest organizers say that a completely renewable energy system is their goal. They point out that many countries, including some in Latin America, are already well on their way to achieving that goal. The president of Bolivia, Evo Morales, will open the first World Conference on Indigenous Peoples Monday. Held at the United Nations headquarters, the two-day World Conference is expected to draw over 1,000 indigenous and other delegates to share perspectives on indigenous rights. Those will include land rights, food sovereignty, and the environment. And to Venezuela, where President Nicolas Maduro has signed a $2 billion deal with China. Maduro says that China's investment will be earmarked for the Venezuelan housing program Mission Vivienda. That program has seen over 500,000 new homes built since its launch in 2011. Maduro says the deal shows that Venezuela has a strategic alliance with the world's second largest economy. Over 100,000 Syrian Kurds have fled to Turkey over the weekend, according to the UN. The refugees escaped Islamic State forces through the Syrian border town of Kobani. Turkey has started to close some border crossings, blocking the entry of refugees. The move will likely hamper Turkish-based Kurdish militias from entering Syria to fight the Islamic State. Turkey is said to fear collaboration between Kurdish political parties in Turkey and Syria. The Yemeni government and the Houthi movement have signed a peace deal ending weeks of turmoil. The accord ends a heightened conflict which led to hundreds of deaths. The agreement includes forming a more inclusive government within a month and restoring fuel subsidies. The withdrawal of subsidies came as a hard hit for the country's poorest citizens. The accord comes after armed Houthi rebels made huge advances against the government. Ukrainian forces and pro-Russian separatists exchanged 56 prisoners of war on Sunday. A total of 28 people were released by each side as part of the peace deal. The swap is the latest sign that the ceasefire in Ukraine is largely holding, despite limited military attacks on eastern rebel areas. The exchanges are monitored by the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. The Ukrainian government has pledged more autonomy to rebel-held areas in the east. And we end this morning with news that after a 10-month journey, a NASA spacecraft has reached the orbit of planet Mars. The robotic spacecraft MAVEN will study how water has disappeared from Mars' surface. Scientists strongly suspect that water was previously present on the planet. The study aims to better understand if the Earth-like planet could have ever supported life. The $671 million mission is scheduled to last 1 year. Another Mars probe owned by India is scheduled to arrive on Wednesday.
It's been a long, long journey by a lot of people to get to this point today.
As always, more on those stories and plenty others at our website, telesurtv.net/English. For teleSUR English, I'm Cody Weddle. Have a great Monday.